Have you ever told yourself that as a teacher you shouldn't have favorites? You shouldn't favor one student over the other? I've been teaching for about 40 years now, 25 years in Aikido and some other years in other things. And I now believe that while we shouldn't let ourselves give up on any student, it's only natural, and we should therefore allow ourselves to have favorites. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why it's only natural to have favorites and how you can proceed without this becoming a problem. Hi, my name is Leah Suzuki, and I'm the director of Aikido Kenkyukai International USA, headquartered in Los Angeles, California. And I'm the author of the new book called The Teacher from the Aiki Dialogues collection. Welcome to my virtual dojo, where I give you tools to help you become the best teacher you can be while not having to compromise your values or miss out on your own training. Before we jump into the video content today, I want to put a resource in your hands that's free. I want to give you my teacher training checklist called The 3 Golden Rules of Teaching. It's a simple PDF guide. You can download it, print it out if you want, just keep it on your device if you want, on your phone, whatever works for you. The checklist will help you gain confidence as a teacher, reduce stress around teaching and managing your dojo, and it'll help you encourage and empower your students to increase their progress. Again, all while not having to compromise your values or sacrifice your own training. You can download it at leahsuzuki.com/golden-rules. That's got a couple of dashes in it, leah-suzuki.com/golden-rules. Or just click the link in the description below this video. I hope you enjoy the gift, and I hope you take action on it. So let's talk about having favorites as a teacher. Favoring one student over another. The biggest reasons why you need to allow yourself to have favorites, not beat yourself up because you have favorites, is one, you can focus on your job instead of having to beat yourself up. You can just get on with the teaching and accept that fact. Another reason is if you do it right, the non-favorite student could be motivated to improve. It's tricky, it's difficult. It could totally go the opposite way. But if you do it right, it can work that way. As I said earlier, it's completely natural for a teacher to have favorites. For example, let's say that Bob is always late for class. He's never prepared, always forgets this or that, disrupts the class. And then there's Andy, who's always early, always prepared, treats the other students respectfully. Of course you're going to favor Andy. Of course, that'll be your favorite. Hopefully, you won't give up on Bob. Okay? It is my opinion that we can never give up because people have surprised me. So, here's where the difference comes. You have to look and think, what's going on with Bob? And do I have the power or the skill to make a difference? So, for example, maybe Bob's always late because of some problem at home, some family problem. Do you know about his family life? If not, is it appropriate for you to learn more about the family life? Maybe he's disrespectful because his family members have taught him that. So this could be a really good chance for him. And it could be a good chance for you as a teacher to help him overcome these patterns that his family gave him. So let me share a couple of stories. I've got a couple of students at my dojo right now who are very unlikely mentor and mentee. So Ben has been training with me a couple of years. They're 30 years old or so, somewhere around there. And they almost never miss a class, really like one class every 3 or 4 months with notice ahead of time. They're never late. never on time, always early. They always help with whatever I need help with. They take note, take initiative, and help. Respectful and kind and supportive to the other students. Just really a great person. And then we got a new student who is only 11 years old and was late frequently at first, would forget his sword. I don't remember what all. But I was able to, it wasn't a problem child or anything like that, but, just needed kind of some waking up. I was able to work with each of them actually separately at first. And I would say, oh, Nathan, wow, look at that. Looks like Ben's already finished warming up and it's not time to bow in yet. I bet if you go over there, they'll train with you before bow in. That's like a private lesson. And he would be like, wow. Of course, that was only after I was able to get him to show up early, like Ben. So I kind of have been making Ben into this like hero image in Nathan's mind, and it's working. And of course, you have to have someone who you can trust to not get kind of conceited about that. Ben is a very humble person too. So anyway, first I would say, wow, in fact, I think I asked Ben to mention a couple of times, like, oh, if you get here early, then this and this and this, tell them the great things about it. But anyway, Nathan is killing it now. And he's getting there early, and he's remembering his weapons, and he's training before the training. So it's really exciting. Another pair that I had, my first student at my Santa Barbara dojo was Nick. And similar to Ben, never missed a class, just couldn't get enough of the training. Never came late, never arrived on time either, just always early is what I want to say. Richard joined, and Richard was never like my non-favorite or anything, but knowing his personality now, the way I do, I think he could have maybe gone a couple different directions. But he had Nick, but Nick also had Matt. So each of them kind of mentored the other. And then before I knew it, I had 3 very dedicated, hardworking students who held themselves to a high standard. And I believe it could have gone another way. And I did facilitate the mentorship. Sometimes one would ask me something and I would go, oh, yeah, good question. I don't know. Why don't you go ask so-and-so? Why don't you go ask Nick? Go ask Matt. Maybe I did know the answer, but I knew the answer that that the mentor, the senpai, would give. And I was on board with that. And I wanted them to make a stronger relationship. These are all adult examples that I'm using. Kids, of course, it works the same. What you have to do, though, is that person who is not your favorite. Okay, first of all, of course, you have to admit it to yourself. Like, boy, that student, something just doesn't click. And then what you have to do is when that student who is not your favorite, when they do have a win, when they've done anything correctly, you have to acknowledge it. You have to say, wow. Here's another example. Jesus and Nico, 2 kids in my kids' classes. Nico was always there early, took initiative about like helping new kids who were there, on and on and on. And Jesus is a great kid. He went through a period at first, though, where he would refuse to do this activity or that activity. And there were always activities where he thought there was a chance of losing and losing publicly. The kids love to do Aikido freeze tag. Aikido freeze tag is freeze tag, but instead of just freezing, you have to sit seiza. And instead of your friend freeing you by tagging you, they free you by doing a forward roll in front of you. Anyway, he never wanted to be it for that. We would sometimes do sumo wrestling. He would refuse to do sumo wrestling and be really upset and crying in the corner. But one day, we did finally, I forget how it happened, how we got him to the sumo ring. We would make a sumo ring out of ropes. Somehow, somebody convinced him to get into the sumo ring. Might have even been me. And he was standing in the sumo ring crying. And then the other kid, I do remember the other kid was Leo. The other kid was ready to do sumo with him. And Leo was the sweetest kid on the planet. They moved away. But anyway, just when I said, Hajime, and Leo, went like this to do sumo, hit the ground to come up. But Jesus had walked out of the ring just in that second. And Leo said, darn, I was going to let him throw me. And this is between 7-year-olds. But anyway, I said, wow, Jesus, incredible. You got in the ring. And I made a big deal about him getting in the ring. And I didn't sugarcoat, oh, Jesus got in the ring. That's so great. No, I said, wow. Some of us might think that that's not a big deal. But for whatever reason, we all have seen over the last months that Jesus gets really stressed about sumo. So for Jesus to have gotten in the ring is amazing, or whatever the heck I said. And so this started to turn him around. And now he's completely different from this. And he will take some risks. And he will trust me. But yeah, that took a couple of years to get him to do that. So anyway, in summary, I hope you found this helpful. And in conclusion, as a teacher, just remind yourself, having favorites can have negative effects, but only if you ignore or you give up on that student, on the non-favorite students. Having favorites is a completely natural thing for a teacher, and it even makes sense, actually. The best thing to do is to try to position things so that the favorite is seen by the others as a role model and someone to aspire to be like, and accessible so that they can share tips and support. Some benefits of allowing yourself to have favorites are, 1, you can just focus on your job instead of wasting time beating yourself up. 2, as I said earlier, if you do it right, your favorite can become a mentor and can motivate the others to improve. So, thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know in the comments section what you struggle with the most as a teacher, or specifically your questions or concerns about having favorites and your experiences with having favorites. Or feel free to leave any other questions for that matter as well. Again, I want to give you a gift, my teacher training checklist, the 3 golden rules of teaching martial arts, to help you gain confidence as an instructor, encourage your students, and reduce stress around teaching and managing your dojo. So just click on the link below or type in leah-suzuki.com/golden-rules. All right. Thanks so much. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.